Hey guys, I'm Nelson Tai. I've been using ZBrush since 2014-15. It's still one of my main tools for doing 3D concept designs. And today I'll be showing you just how I would approach to make something like this, a handguard. Mainly it will be Boolean techniques on how to create these shapes. So, also I'll be using my custom UI setup. You can always grab that on my website or ArtStation. It's free. So, but I'll try to explain what I'm pressing and where the buttons are as I go along. So let's start with a cube. First thing, just pull it back, make it a bit longer. So one of my hotkeys is Control 1, which makes it into 1K resolution Dynamesh, which I think I would just increase it a bit to Control 2, which is 2K. There's a bit more to work with. So turn on symmetry. XY would be what I'll be using. Just make some cuts to kind of get the main shape. So I'm using clip curve to kind of make these cuts and rounded edges. So just gonna go with something simple. Okay, maybe just something like, actually let's go something simple like that. Mask outside so that it Dynamesh again to clean up the kind of geometry. So now we'll start making how to make the Boolean shapes to make those key cuts. So I would use mask lasso. So you just kind of draw and explore the shapes that you would want. Let's make something like that. So it's just a lot of masking, unmasking to cut this mask into something that you would want. It doesn't have to be super clean. We still have a chance to clean it up when we extract this. Okay, let's try something like that. So I would bring up my custom menu, Control-Shift-A to extract. If you don't press it here, it would be in your subtool palette under extract. So I would extract this so that it's very thin. You don't need to make it thick or else it distorts the shape. So extract, accept it, it'll create a new subtool. The area you want is mask, so usually I press Control W to polygroup. Click Control Shift click on it to remove the stuff you don't want. Delete hidden, auto group it because all we need is just one side. So delete the rest. So you see how the edges are really jagged? We can clean that up with polish by features. This is also just down in deformation. There's a bunch of polish features here. So it looks okay. And also one important thing when doing Booleans, it's also usually useful for it to be flat. So turn off symmetry, flatten it. Just drag it towards the middle so that's now all flat. Cool. Turn symmetry back on. We don't need X, just the Y. And press Z remesher. Let's see what that gives us. It's still a bit too dense, so usually I just go down by half. Click it again. It's still too dense. One more time. One more time should be okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So you see how some edges are still a bit wobbly. We can clean that up when we give it a bit of thickness with panel loops. So just Polish 0, bevel 0, just one edge loop so that doesn't distort the shape. Click it, see, it'll give you a bit of thickness. So now you can use clip curve, also crease polygroups so that creases the edges, and when you turn on dynamic subdiv it's a bit more clean. Now you use clip curve to kind of clean up these edges so that it's not wobbly. For concept, it's not super important to be clean, super clean, but if you've got the time, it's always nice. And then here. Okay, so now, after cleaning it up, you can just isolate this face again, delete the rest. Same ZBrush so that it gives you, cleans up the topology a little bit. Repeat the step again, panel loops, crease polygroups. Now mask and mask this, invert, pull the rest to the, so that it can punch a hole through the middle. So I also have another hotkey is Alt X, which centers the mesh to 0 here on X. Also, so set this to subtractive, turn on live booleans, and you can see how it looks. So punching a hole straight through might not be the most interesting. Usually it's nice with a bit of taper or bevel for me. So how I would do that is slice curves, something like that. Slice curve. Let's see. Okay, slice curve. Make this whole section one polygroup. Go to your Z modeler. Let's see. QMesh, polygroup all. Basically, we want to kind of extrude this whole section out so that there's like a step. Now with that step, we can use maybe edge slide. So just slide it back a bit. I think a bit more would work better. Okay, let's try and make this a bit bigger. Okay, so to make it on the other side, use a mirror and weld. I'll put it back into 0x position. Turn on dynamic subdiv. Increase. So you see how now it gives a bit of the kind of bevel taper. I think it would look better. Just imagine how the light would catch on. It will look nice with that kind of rim. So now to make the pattern to the back, I usually use the gizmo, hold control, just pull it back to the position you want, let go of control and drag back to duplicate this kind of pattern. If it looks good, then now try to figure out how to punch the hole through the middle. So how I would do that, polygroup it would be the fastest way, but I can also show you another way. So you duplicate this mesh, then you go down, then you use polygroups, hit group binomials. You can play around with the max angle. It really depends how your shape is. So now, depending on the normal, it would give you polygroups, and all you want is this end. So same thing, delete hidden. Now we hit ZBrush. We now bring this polycount down. We can also use polish a bit just to clean up those edges. It'll be easier for ZBrush to work. So just press this, keep going down in half. that should be enough. So now I would use ZModeler, polygroup, poly loop. I want to trim off the end by this much. Just Control Shift, click the middle, take out to isolate the rest. Delete hidden, this is all we need. Same thing again. I'll set all these down. Panel loops, just to give it a bit of thickness. Crease polygroups. Mask, invert, pull it back, just so that it can punch through the entire mesh. Crease PG. Go back to your subtool, make sure it's subtractive, and you can now see the result, just like that. So if you're happy, now you're ready to make your Boolean mesh, and this button is right here at subtool, Boolean, make Boolean. But for this, make sure you turn this on so that it recognizes the colors are using dynamic subdiv. Now you press this. I'll work it out. And you would get the new subtool here. So you can insert that into your current tool. You can turn off the rest, you don't need. So the best thing about doing this kind of Boolean cut is everything is polygrouped. You can make use of these polygroups, but for this kind of quick demo, I won't. If you're happy, just Dynamesh this whole thing. I would just fill it with the one color, or I have also a hotkey for fill object, which is Alt F. So it looks good. So usually my last step with a lot of the hard surface stuff is, if I'm happy, I would want to bring the poly count down, because there's no reason to keep it at this 2 mil. That's just, as you go on, it really clutters or brings down your performance and increase your file size. So the best is to use Decimate, the Decimate plugin, which I have a hotkey is Control Shift A, and do that to press Decimate current. I mean pre-process current. ZBrush will take some time to analyze this. Oh, also I should mention, sometimes there may be issues where Decimate, it's stuck, it just can't figure out the mesh and calculate. And usually 90% of the time of fixing this to make Decimate work is these two buttons, check mesh integrity and fix mesh, which is down here in geometry. Basically click check mesh, it will find some faces that have problems with your mesh. Then you click fix mesh, it just fixes it somehow. I have no idea how it works, but usually pressing these two before Decimate would just speed up or make Decimate work for sure. Okay, cool, it's done. Control Shift A again and press Decimate. Now it brings it down to 400,000 polys. See? For hard surface, you can really go down a bit more. So for me, I usually do it again, pre-process. It'll be faster because it's lighter already. In my experience, usually hard surface stuff, you can repeat this process twice and still not lose a lot of details. So yeah, now it's now down to 90,000, which it's pretty good for in terms of ZBrush. So yeah, that's how I usually have it at the end before shifting this over to Keyshot for just rendering. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys find this useful, and I'll hopefully see you guys again soon.